Hi, I'm Britney Tokumoto.
And I'm Loren Davidson, and our work is titled The Invitation.
My name is Maya Billig, and this is my latest work, Brink.
My name is Chadwick Gaspard, and the piece you're about to watch is titled BMMO.
I am Brimstone, bringing rhythm and multi-sonic turbulent overdoses near an explosion.
My name is Liony Garcia, and the piece you'll be watching is titled Corporal Decorum.
My name is Maria Mercy Lopez. My piece is called You Never Had Us.
Hi, I'm Britney Tokumoto.
And I'm Loren Davidson, and our work is titled The Invitation.
My name is Maya Billig, and this is my latest work, Brink.
My name is Chadwick Gaspard, and the piece you're about to watch is titled BMMO.
I am Brimstone, bringing rhythm and multi-sonic turbulent overdoses near an explosion.
My name is Liony Garcia, and the piece you'll be watching is titled Corporal Decorum.
My name is Maria Mercy Lopez. My piece is called You Never Had Us.
Hey, my name is Chadwick Gaspard, and the piece you're about to watch is titled BMMO, which stands for Black Male Modus Operandi. It talks about the experience of a black male dealing with their masculinity and how that influences who they are. It talks about all the stereotypes that we are portrayed as in the media, how we are raised, and then how things like that transfers into the adult that we become in the future. I really wanted to touch on this subject because it's something that's really close to me, and also it's been a time in my life where I'm really trying to understand what it means to be a black man in today's society.
I watched my own self die. Media reports and statistics seem to suggest that my own destruction loomed around every corner. And I did little to try to stop it because it just seemed so inevitable. Rather than celebrate my accomplishments, I began to mark the years that passed by tallying the tragedies I had avoided. 19, never been shot. 21, no baby mama. 23, never been arrested. Now, mind you, I was about as far removed from the stereotypical images and lifestyles attributed to black masculinity as one could be. I was a studious and accomplished student. I was never in any kind of gang or around any gang activity. And I really, really suck at basketball. But I had come to realize that who I was didn't matter as much as what I was. My black male body defined how the world saw me. And my identity was attached to these very narrow and troubling representations of black men. And so I struggled with trying to navigate a world that seemed to tell me that around every corner I was doomed, I was gonna end. And that is until art showed me something different. In 1956, psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan expanded his concept called a mirror stage. Basically, a study suggests that one's subjectivity is largely informed by external representations, that we begin to take our cues about who we are based on images that reflect back to us who we believe ourselves to be. So rather than identity being formed from the inside out, it's more likely shaped by the outside in. And this becomes crucial when understanding black male identity and performance because largely those representations are extremely narrow and very problematic.
This is a PSA to all my niggas. And that goes for you as well, my non-niggas, because if we being real, you my niggas too. Just don't say it. You see, I am a nigga. And colloquially speaking, that just means I identify as a black man. But you hear black, and you assume I listen to either rap or the blues or R&B, and because I'm a man, it's probably hip hop. You got me fucked up though. I run the whole circuit. Toss a little rock in there too when I'm feeling with it. I also paint my nails, and they pretty. Pretty as a bitch. And I'll slap you like one too if you try me. So don't. You see, I come from a place where your perceived sexuality, if they think you gay, you ain't gotta prove it. But if they think it, that's a machete to the neck. So that's why I paint my nails, especially the middle one, because that's disrespect to your set. Don't come for me, because I'm still a nigga. And that's what I love to be. me take this. I don't need it. Let me run, boy. My niggas.
We did that though.
Y'all good.
You buzzing all over me. You buzzing all over me. You buzzing all over me like she coming out.
Swayze. I heard there ain't no gossip girl out there. Oh, really? Yes.
Is it featuring someone? Someone on there with it?
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Mercy Lopez. My piece is called You Never Had Us. The piece is about Latino veterans who served in the US military only to get deported. I hope you find something in this piece. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy the show.
Down by the river,
we
took a little walk.
we took a little walk,
Ran into China,
ran into China,
we had a little talk.
and we had a little talk.
We pushed them, we shoved them,
Hey!
we threw them in the river,
We threw them in the river,
and laughed as they
and
drowned.
laughed as they drowned.
We don't need no commies
We don't need no commies
hanging around.
hanging around. Hey, don't be a fool.
Hey, hey!
Somebody said we were number two. They lied. We're number one. Go Army!
Down by the river,
Down by the river,
we took a little walk.
we took a little walk.
Ran into Korea
Ran into Korea,
and had a little talk.
had a little talk.
We pushed them,
Hey!
we shoved them,
Hey!
we threw them in the river,
Threw them in the river,
and laughed as they
and
drowned.
laughed as they drowned.
We don't need no commies
We don't need no commies
hanging around.
hanging around.
Hey,
don't be a fool.
Hey, hey!
Somebody said we were number two. They lied. We're number one. Go Army!
Down by the river, down by the river, we took a little walk, and we took a little walk. We ran into America. We ran into America? Yeah, and we couldn't even talk. No, we couldn't even talk? They pushed us, they shoved us, they threw us in the river. Threw us in the river. And they laughed as we drowned. And they laughed as we drowned. They don't need no sticks. They don't need no sticks. Hanging around, hanging around. Hey, don't be a fool! Somebody said we were number two. They lied. We're number one. Go Army! Present arms. Yeah, boy.
Eu vi uma onça gemer na mata do arvoredo. Eu vi uma onça gemer na mata do arvoredo. Olelê, São João, me valha, São Pedro, que ouça eu tenho medo. Olelê, São João, me valha, São Pedro, que ouça eu tenho medo. Eu vi uma onça gemer na mata do arvoredo. Eu vi uma onça gemer na mata do arvoredo. Olelê, São João, me valha, São Pedro, que ouça eu tenho medo. Olelê, São João, me valha, São Pedro, que ouça eu tenho medo. Uma onça gemer na mata do arvoredo. Eu vi uma onça gemer
Please stand for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag who never gave a fuck about us, and to the republic for which they stand, a divided nation under one, divisible, with no liberty and justice for none. Somebody said we were number two. They fucking lied. We're number one.
Hi, my name is Maya Billig, and this is my latest work, Brink, inspired by Orson Welles' War of the World radio adaptation from 1938.
If you ever go down Trinidad, they make you feel so very glad. Calypso sing and make up rhyme, guarantee you one real good fine time. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, beat it, man, beat it. They got the young girls all going mad. Young girls say they treat 'em nice. Make Trinidad like paradise. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana. Both mother and daughter. Working for the Yankee dollar. Oh, you vex me, you vex me. From Chickachickarry to Mona's Isle, native girls all dance and smile. Help soldier celebrate his leave. Make every day like New Year's Eve. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana. Both mother and daughter. Working for the Yankee dollar. It's a fact, man, it's a fact. In old Trinidad I also fear the situation is mighty queer. Like the Yankee girl, the native swoon when she heard her bingle croon. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana. Both mother and daughter. Working for the Yankee dollar. Out on Manzanella Beach, GI romance with native peach. All night long make tropic love. Next day sit in hot sun and cool off. Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana. Both mother and daughter. Working for the Yankee dollar. It's a fact, man, it's a fact. Rum and Coca-Cola.
39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment. Near the end of October, business was better. War scare was over. All men were back at work. $32 million people were listening in on radio.
This weather report comes to you from the Government Weather Bureau. We take you now to the Meridian Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Giddings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote. We now return you to the music of Raymond Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown New York. Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news The Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with the noted astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. Standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong slit in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. Ticking sound you hear, the vibration of clock. For the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morris of Macmillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m. a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton. A flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Elizabeth. We have dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene, and we'll have our commentator, Carl Phillips, give you a word picture of this.
Do you hear it? The curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the microphone nearer. There. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson?
Yes?
Can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
What do you think? Metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial. Not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in a meteorite. This thing is smooth and see a cylindrical shape.
Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and this thing must be hollow. Move it!
Look at that! He's not there! He's not there! Keep those men back! He's not there! Keep those idiots back!
Auto-suggestion. You'll never be alone. Creative imagination. Desire. You don't have a burning desire at all. 8, every morning you know exactly what you're going to do and why. But all the real joy is taken out of it. 5th, faith. Don't fight it. 1st, 5, 4th, 4. Go into some quiet spot, perhaps in bed at night. Close your eyes, hold it. I can touch it with my hands. Imagination. You'll never be alone. The importance of the woman. You'll never be alone. Know what you want. Like all states of mind, the mastery of procrastination. 9, no one knows everything, no place to go. Number 2. 1. The second principle is a state of mind, sudden flashes of thought or inspiration. 10, the 5th principle is whatever it is you do for a living. The 4th principle is the one and only woman. The 6th principle is the 6th principle. The 6th sense. The 13th and final principle is the 12th principle. 3rd, this is important. This is it. Thoughts are things. 3. Time means nothing to your subconscious. 2, understand once and for all, you'll never be alone here on Earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. We continue now with our piano interlude.
Peace, I am Brimstone, bringing rhythm and multisonic turbulent overdoses near an explosion. Welcome to Riddler, Act 1, The MC. Riddler is a hip-hop audiobook which explores privilege, Judaism, and hip-hop culture. Let me know your thoughts and stay tuned. One love.
Honey, they got a special right now on TV about our people.
What people? You mean the nurses?
Oy vey.
The story of Jewish migration to America begins some 400 years ago when small groups of Jews arrived, settling in what would become New York.
They are able to establish communities that exist for long periods of time, for centuries upon centuries.
As the 19th century went on, more and more Jews came to America. They were lands of intellectuals, artists, writers, and revolutionaries. More Jews would trickle in over the decades. Anti-Semitism was always there. But despite it all, the Jews here considered this home, 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 home.
Here's a little story I got to tell about a Jew from Miami who you don't know so well.
I am the R-I-double, the L to the A, and my vocab will spray like graffiti all day. Riddler, rocking it definitely, doing lovely artistry. I gets it pop without the pills and keep the hate out of my arteries. Y'all got that?
Got it good. Since you understood, would you make some noise?
Yo, I strike like a python when I rock that cobra and Krylon. Fool, there ain't no hole in them when I break out the Rust-Oleum. Click, clack. I don't lack iron, but I rock iron lack. I even bombed the Museum of Graffiti with a Red Devil can.
Oh, yeah, go tell him, yeah.
Now what's that cobra and Krylon?
That's that paint, boy.
What about them Rusto?
Paint, paint.
And the other tools of the trade to make sure our pieces won't ever fade.
Paint out the wazoo.
So what do I go hard in?
The paint.
What y'all go hard in?
That is your question, man. You already know we go hard in. The paint.
You can't stop.
I won't stop.
Yeah, discipline and all that, but hip-hop ain't a spectator sport. So when I say can't stop, y'all say won't stop. I need to really hear y'all.
Okay.
Wherever you at. Are you ready?
All right.
Let's get it.
Here we go.
Can't stop, won't stop,
can't stop, won't stop. Bless up. Nice.
G, could we continue?
Yo, dog, do your thing.
Here in Miami, we always got it going on. With that down south talk, different gangs on every block, it's definitely the spot where them cops keep it hot. I mean, check Reefer.
Inhale.
Damn, you old school. You mean that green?
Inhale.
Ganja, cause they're gone, sir.
Inhale.
The devil's lettuce.
Queens don't smoke. At least not in public. Hey, let me get a talk.
Inhale.
Gang.
Man, this ain't about weed, it's about Reefer. He was a writer who was tased to death by Miami-Dade's Boys in Blue just for catching a tag.
A tag?
In Wynwood, it used to be the illest for realists. DJ Raw, Thurston Howell III, the Lightbox and Hoodstock. Playing beach rock block parties before all the art galleries, bars, and coffee shops. Man, let me stop.
Bruh, you can't stop.
Won't stop.
The rock bottom of the map is where it's at, and we created it.
Bit.
Learn.
Big biters. All y'all homeboys are biters. So what's up with that, punk?
Okay, Bronx Rocker, cool down. It's true that we borrowed.
Sample. Stone.
Created.
Sample. You know, like when you go to the store and you see this hot female trying to get you to taste some crackers? Knowing damn well they nasty as hell? Come on, son, you sample.
You just like all the biters. They just take a bite and leave the rest.
Yo, are you calling me a biter? just 'cause I get inspired? Brother, inspiration comes from many places. Most deaf like Black Star from our up north kinfolk. But down here, we developed our own style, with cars rattling from speaker box boom boom battling, and bass with Richter scale like earthquakes. Coconut Grove had so much soul before gentrification got a hold. Project housing, writers bombing with spray cans and markers replaced by farmers markets.
We're used to walking targets just for walking down the target, when just last year it was a black-owned supermarket.
Boy, Riddler, you need to stop it.
Won't stop.
Power to the people. Power to the people.
It's just straight evil. But I make moves, yo, and I got a PP wherever I go.
You nasty dread. Why you wet up the place?
PP is a privilege pass. Believe me, yo, I get sit in.
How so?
Hello! I'm white Jewish and flies, a mother fly flying sky high on the wings of a butterfly. And since the days of old hip-hop was in my soul like pro heads, now check this sword with a double edge. 'Cause as a Jew, I can play both sides of the fence. I assimilate, separate, Gentile, procreate, or marry the daughter of the rabbinate. I could be dramatic, democratic, theocratic, read shell Silversteins alike in the attic. Or be a yogi, pragmatic, dogmatic. I don't even care what it is, 'cause I'll break all of the commandments. Say, yo. Man, even when it comes to grub, I can keep it kosher in the fridge to show Porky Pig some love.
Fire! Nasty man!
Only if the pork on your fork is kosher.
What?
According to some rabbis, if the meat is cloned, then it's in the kosher zone.
BS? That's some bullshit. I ain't eating nothing cloned. Strictly organic, so I alone can help save the planet. Either way, we Jews are here to stay. Just ask that sucker Hitler. He's long gone, and we armed, strong like the militia. Now that's my gang. We survived so far. So in the words of my man Martin Luther King Jr., can't we all just get along?
Wrong king, dog. That's Rodney.
I just want to say, you know, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids?
King? Well, it doesn't really matter which king, right? 'Cause he who wishes to be king must first learn to serve. Say word. Word. Is the word. Hey yo, y'all know who's my king, right?
Adonai.
Nope.
Then I don't know.
Oh, you think that's funny, right? Queen, what you got?
Blonde hair, blue-eyed white Jesus.
Hell nah, I'm a Jew.
So is he.
Yo, E, I think you up to something. Hold on. Hear me out. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, white. That's Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a Jew?
Technically, no. But his son-in-law is. Did you know that they compare Trump to the great King Cyrus? That's some bullshit.
Who can it be knocking at my door? Guess who's coming to dinner? When the son of David reach from the heavens, he'll have a head full of locks while he's amongst his brethren. Seen? You don't know it's the Almighty who created the earth in 6 days and said it was good for all. Hallelujah!
You're absolutely wrong.
Rotted.
Cause who I'm talking about, y'all, is hip-hop.
King what? King of style.
I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sire MCs should call me sire. To run my kingdom, you must choose fire. I won't stop rocking till I retire.
DMC, my introduction to rap was Beat Street. Wild Style, Melly Mel, and Rocksteady. Busy Bee, Kumo D, Kaz the Grandmaster. UTFO, Fat Boys kept getting fatter. Beastie Boys, Schoolie D, fresh to the Dougie. LL Cool J is hard as Houdini, who's friends between Scott and Chris Fawn.
Public enemy number one.
Oh, bro, no, hold on. It would be a hip-hop sin to not mention Wu-Tang or Native Tongues.
Yo, how was the West Coast one?
With gangster rap, hun, On the coast where the sun would settle nightly, the home of NWA and Ice-T.
West Side. And just for wearing the wrong color, they'll kill you till you die. But that didn't stop the bizarre ride to the far side. Hieroglyphics exhibit Snoop and Dre. Hey!
Hell yeah.
West Side.
Nah, Midwest is the best. In the Windy City where it was common sense to dig infinitely, even if you had no ID. Way before Kanye, and don't even get me started by the Dungeon Family. ATL, stand up.
You know who's my favorite MC, right?
Of course you know we do. You!
Me?
It's always about you. Yo, who's your favorite MC?
Favorite MC? What? I don't even know what the hell an MC is.
Neither do I.
Well, go ahead and just drop your favorite MC's name in the chat.
We out of here.
Shalom.
Hi, I'm Britney Tokumoto. And I'm Loren Davidson, and our work is titled The Invitation. It's titled The Invitation because we sent out actual paper invitations to a few friends and colleagues to participate as our audience members in the parking lot of MLP. That's where the show began.
The audience members joined us on the day of the film shoot, and they watched our performance in their cars. They heard the audio through an iPhone conference call, and we really hope you at home that are watching this enjoy the show. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I think everyone is on the call, and if you can hear me clearly, can you all just honk your horns really loudly? Thank you so much. Thank you guys all for joining us. Hey everybody, I bet that you are even more impatient than we are. Don't know who I am yet, do you? I know a lot of you, I know some of you. But I'm working with Loren and Britney. Even though Britney kind of already welcomed you, I'm going to say welcome. We are so glad you're here. It's so great live performance. It's been such a long time, right? Even though it's a funny kind of live performance, it's all right. It's all right. We're doing it. We're doing it. Doing it differently. So you're at the Lightbox, but you're not quite here. We're doing this differently. So I want you to imagine that you're walking in from 26th Street the way that you usually do, that you're going down that hallway, going in that big, tall door into the lobby, and all these people that you haven't seen in months and months and months, we gathered together. You can't wait. First performance in such a long time. Can't wait. The anticipation is the best. Waiting for that big, tall, black door to slide open, and that kind of whoosh of air that you get when it opens and you walk in. And there's that anticipation, even though the space is black, it feels like it's going to just go boom with light, explode. What's going to happen? You find a seat. I know you're sitting in your car already, but imagine you're finding a seat and you're sitting, and here we go. I was invited to go to my friend's house for her birthday during COVID. I was happy to do it and to engage socially. I prepared 2 dishes, a savory tart and a peach crumble. I didn't give myself enough time to finish them and leave in time to make it, and I arrived 15 minutes late and a little flustered. I had spent too much time lollygagging in the pool. So even though I have more time than ever, I didn't manage my time well. Time. We have so much time by ourselves. Time disappears when we're by ourselves. It seeps into our phones and our screens, our refrigerators and our beds, flies out our windows and into our yard, floats up into our ceiling at night. Time doesn't mean anything without other people. Even though it's been a while since I've seen you, I won't be able to attend the baby shower. Why not? No! The baby doesn't get to choose if she'll show up. She has to come. The baby can't say no. Be like a baby. Say yes. Good day, ladies. 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 I hate to see you go. I am excitedly accepting the invite to the mango party. What shall I wear? Is wearing orange to a mango party too corny? See, this is why I write emails fast. Because I'm quick to the point, and then it's just questions, questions, questions. If you ask me, go ahead, ask me. If you ask me, wearing orange to a mango party is not corny, but practical. The sweet, sticky, luscious juice that will get all over your face and your neck and drip all over your hands and run down your arms. Won't stain your outfit. If you can't eat mango in the ocean, then wearing orange is the next best thing. Questions can be good. Questions make us curious. Questions represent possibility. Why don't we do this? Why can't we do that? Questions make us curious. Questions represent possibility. Why don't we do this? Why can't we do that? Why not? But now there are too many questions. Do we still have to stay in? What's going to happen? When can we see each other? Will life be like this forever? Am I sick? When will there be live performance again? Is she smiling? How close is too close? Is there anything new on Netflix? Is democracy dying? Is that another hurricane? Does anyone know? I was at ease. All troubles evaporated. We laughed so much and slept so deep. The house was messy with delightful giggles. I faded away in recognition and safety, with a secret sense of knowing there was magic. Could he see it too? Could he feel it? I won't make eye contact. I want to see him. I'll delay my angry eyes this time. We've been saying no for so long that no is all we say. No. I won't go out. No. Can't see you. No. I won't do that. No, I won't think about the future. Time to say yes. Time to ask new questions. Time to say, why not? I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. Though the days go on forever, I'm still waiting for you. I felt relaxed and energized, floating and focused, grateful with the simplicity that the world has led us to, shedding the fast cycles and appreciating tiny moments, tipsy with friendship. That's it. I can't believe we did it. Oh my God. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Sorry you couldn't have cake. It was so good. Well, the ladies are beckoning to the gate. Good night, ladies. Take your time. Don't hit each other. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, my name is Liony Garcia, and the piece you'll be watching is titled Corporal Decorum. It's a dance work that takes its inspiration from Miami Beach's Art Deco district. In this one section, which is a section part of a larger work, we focus on the decorative elements of the architecture and translate it into movement language, which is used in choreography. I hope you enjoy it.
Stand by for a spirited discussion with this year's Here and Now performers and former Here and Now alumnists.
All right. Hey everyone, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
All right, I hope y'all are well and alive. We're coming to you live. I guess not so live and direct, but we are. We will be seen at some point. My name is Tel Castellanos. I am an independent artist, artistic director of Tel Castellanos Z Projects and the Combat Hippies, as well as board president at Miami Light Project. And I want to welcome all of you today.
Peace, everyone. My name is Rudy Goblin. I'm a writer, dancer, actor, more specifically a poet, spoken word artist, MC, and playwright, and contemporary dancer / b-boy, which is funny to me because I feel like b-boying is the ultimate contemporary dance, but that is a whole nother conversation. And my preferred pronouns are he, him, his, or anything with respect, really. I'm a Taurus sun, Libra moon, Cancer rising, and House Hufflepuff for any Harry Potter fans in the house.
Thorough. You forgot to mention Nika, vegan, lentil cooking, eating.
I'm also
burger specialist.
I'm all of that, and as well as a father and a member of Tel Castellanos Z Project. So very proud member and a very proud student of the lineage.
A founding member. Brim, what's up?
And you? Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
So, peace, y'all. I am Brimstone, bringing rhythm and multi-sonic turbulent overdoses near an explosion. I get it popping without the pills, crack without the crack. With the needle on the skin. Can you smell me, lumberjack? I go hard in the Benjamin Moore. I go hard in the Sherwin Williams. And when it comes to spitting, I go hard in the Glidden. Now, what's that, Benjamin Moore? I heard somebody.
No paint!
What's that Glidden? I'm here, y'all. What's that Glidden?
In the paint.
What's that Sherwin Williams?
In the paint.
What I go hard in?
In the paint.
Go hard in. Here now, 2020. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes. And we have a live studio panel at the Light Box at Miami Light Project, Studio 8, and artists that's not necessarily seen as a financial thing, right? That you can grab, but just having that time and that space, right? And to be creative in a place where you feel at home. I think it's extremely important. I'm talking about myself right now, so I better stop. I want to pass it on to Chadwick and then Maya.
Going along this experience as an MLP artist, I feel it's kind of a little bit less about the money, but more about how they help foster the growth of your idea. Because I just graduated from college and this is the first thing that happened. So I'm very grateful to be in a space where they're like, okay, we like how you're thinking, we like your idea. We're going to give you everything you need to help foster the growth of that idea. And I feel like that goes, for me personally, that goes a long way, a lot more than monetary value does. Because I feel like you can create anything aside from having money, but this gave the space, gave the support, just gave you a community of other like artists doing the same thing, just a whole lot more that just compounded into itself to help foster the growth of the artist.
That's great.
Nice. Maya.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a layer to yours. Has it also kept you in Miami as an artist, as opposed to having to leave? Has it helped you maintain you here as part of this community?
Yeah, I would say for sure it has been one of the things that has kept me here was my interest in particularly the Here and Now program, because my community is already Miami, and having this, it's like it makes more sense for me to kind of foster that energy here among my community rather than like leave right away. So yeah, I would say that Miami Light Project in particular is a huge reason why I'm still in Miami today. But also, like, besides that, as an emerging artist, and what I see from emerging artists around me is that this time is such like a crucial and raw and vulnerable time in an artist's career, where like what they're making is extremely kind of like explosive. So if they don't get that support, you might miss like a really important part of a person's trajectory. Yeah, and also like beyond like the space and the time and the money, it's the network that I've been now like welcomed into, like being here today with these artists. That's such an important part of all of this and the family that Miami Light Project is. So yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, nice, thank you. Y'all don't know how happy y'all making me feel right now. That's Maya. I love your responses. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will talk from a place of my personal experience with Miami Light Project. Well, one thing I want to point out is like how hard Miami Light Project like works, right? Like Rosie brought up like how their history, like how long their history goes back. And I just want to like shine some light on that work, right? That it takes work to be to be an organization that long, and it takes space, time, and support, and I also want to say that like the space, time, and support that they give to us costs them money, right? It costs them time and it costs them time and space. To raise money to give us time and space, and so I just want to like lift that up and point that out, and just going to this idea of going back to this idea of like early money being like yeast. So monetarily, like the first time that I got commissioned for the Here and Now Festival, it was at a time when you had to submit a proposal, and based on your proposal and your budget, you can get from either $2,500 to $4,000, right? And that was like depended on what your show needed. I was only able to get $2,500 in 2000. At the end of 2005, my show premiered in February of 2006. It was the first one-person show that I ever created and wrote and performed that Teo directed. However, going back to this idea of yeast, right? I only got $2,500. That's it. That's all I got for that show. And I did 4 performances. However, I toured that show on and off till 2017. I went to Alaska, I went to Costa Rica, I went to the Netherlands, I went to London, I went to Leeds, I went to Birmingham, UK, I went to Clyde Valentine from the Hip Hop Theater Festival, saw that show, and then wanted me to do the Hip Hop Theater Festival tour. Then I went to like Washington, New York, Chicago, like, so that to me is that yeast, right? That like that $2,500 was able to bring me more money and bring me more visibility, bring me more opportunities, bring me more, widen my circle of collaborators and colleagues, and basically, also just helped clear a pathway for me and start a career for me, right? So it was like if I just say, oh, I got this money and I did this show and that was it, like it was like, again, it was that yeast that like just kept on growing, and it was like this like avalanche of like a snowball effect of like things just kept happening because of that that initial first amount of money that I got from Miami Light Project. And so to answer, that's how true it is for me in my career, right? That you might think like, oh, I'm only doing this, but that connects the dots like later on.
I also wanted to add to what Rudy was saying, because in addition to that continued or increased opportunity, Here Now is like how I met my art family, which Rudy is in. Rudy and Leonie and Anna and Gerald and Octavio and all these people that to this day feel like my family, my art family, that we're still making work together. We still are bouncing ideas off of each other. We're still ride or die, like whatever is going on. Like it was the here and now that brought us together in that work, which is just a really beautiful experience. I don't know where I would be without like my art family.
For real.
Can I piggyback on that, Rosie? Mm-hmm. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't also when we did the Here and Now, when we did the first various stages of drowning, isn't that where you met Charles Reinhardt as well?
Well, yes.
And that's and that's why we went to
everywhere.
To ADF, American Dance Festival.
Isn't it a story? I'm down now. I will tell this story every day. I will tell you the story.
But no, again, because I love this question, because it is early money is like yeast, right? Like that is the yeast, right? That's how things grow, right? Like
I was doing my first ever Here and Now, right? My first ever Here and Now. I had been in one before, had gone to them ever since I was in high school. I was doing my first Here and Now. Leonie was in it. And somebody very important was in the audience, Charles Reinhardt, who is the president of the American Dance Festival, which is like the biggest dance festival in the United States. And he's a very important and influential person in dance. And so he was there, and he saw my work, and he led the panel discussion afterwards. And I guess he really enjoyed it. A couple weeks later, I get a call. I was at Amelia Earhart Park in Hialeah. I got a call from him saying that somebody had dropped out of their commitment to perform at the American Dance Festival, and they were asking if I would be willing to participate, which I was like, yes. Like, you're like, you just won the lottery. There's like most prestigious festival in the world. And he, told the New York Times I was the next great American choreographer, and his support, like leveraged support from Baryshnikov, leveraged support from the Joyce, leveraged support from this. So this one person at this show with the small, I got more than you, Rudy. I got 4,000. I was able to capitalize that on literally my entire career, because that person's brand of approval, which was Beth's brand of approval, allowed me to get Charles's brand of approval, and his little stamp on me catalyzed into all these other things. And there was important people who knew stuff, who said that I knew stuff, and that meant something in the world. In the modern dance world. So I'm very happy that you made me tell that story.
I got your story. I love that, Rosie. I'm going to piggyback also what Rudy said. And I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know if Northeast 2nd Avenue, if y'all knew that Northeast 2nd Avenue started in the Here and Now. As a 20-minute piece. Or I don't remember how much I got paid, but it wasn't.
I was about to say, can you tell me?
Well, I could if I could remember. But it was almost 20 years ago. But it wasn't nowhere near 4,000, 2,500.
I don't even think it was a G.
Yeah. However, a follow up to that, I was commissioned to do the Evening Lane, Northeast Second Avenue, and that went on to tour for 10 years, as well as win the Fringe First Award in Edinburgh, Scotland. So yes, absolutely. Actually, and because of that, I got an agent in Europe when they saw that show in Edinburgh. So I love these stories because we know these stories are true, but we're never in the same room together sharing them. So that's really important. And I think it's also really encouraging for those younger artists who are coming up now through the here and now. I want Brimstone and or Liony.
I could chime in. So for me, since upon graduating, the first project I did was through the Here and Now commission, and what like everyone's saying, it's kind of like a stamp of approval that your ideas are worth exploring. And so being given time and space, you as an artist start to develop and start to gain a bit of confidence, and also in your own explorations, but also in the presentation of them, and also receiving an audience feedback, whether the project moves forward or not. That attempt is very, it gives you the confidence and also the community to move it forward. Because otherwise, as a young artist, if you are just let out in the world without that kind of support and that mentorship, it can be a bit of a challenge. And now for me, what's happening is the last Here Now project I did, which was a solo, another idea I had in mind. I usually work conceptually, and I usually work it on myself, and so that has developed into a larger project, because that's where I'm at in my career. And so that solo has now turned into a trio, which the Wolfsonian, it's a project based on Deco architecture. So I've been able to work with Miami Design Preservation League and the Wolfsonian in developing that project, as well as it's received NPN funding for the creation of it, and we're linked up now to the Ringling Museum. So depending on the avenue that your project, that benefits your project, eventually that becomes very attractive to other organizations, and you start to partner. But without having the that encouragement to just to put your ideas out there and actually organize them, as you mentioned, just to organize them and form them into something that you feel comfortable and also proud in presenting in whatever stage of the game it is. I think that's very important. And through there, you begin to develop what your creative work is. And I feel like what's happened with me in Miami Live Project is the community aspect of it, just to be plugged in, to be plugged in with many generations of artists that can assist, just by example, they assist you in your development. And yes, administrative support and financial support, but mainly it's that connection with other artists that, we're creatives in the world are very important, and creativity should be number one, especially for all of us. And so in having that and seeing everybody just come together and explore and make things, it's going to move it forward. So I'm excited for this community, and I'm very grateful to be a part of MLP.
Thanks, Lil. You want to jump on that, Brent?
The interesting thing is, in early 2000s, I used to live on 32nd and Biscayne, and the Lightbox was on 29th and Biscayne, and I heard that they had some opportunity to do something. I knew they were doing something about hip hop over there, so I went in there, and I don't know, Teo, but I think this is the first time I ever met you. And we're sitting down, I say, yo, so, what's this project about? And he goes, well, what are you trying to do? I said, I'm trying to drop an album. he's like, that's not what this project is about. I was like, yeah, but I'm trying to drop an album. Like, I'm Brimstone, let's go. And he's looking at this is not what this is about. And so I don't, honestly, I don't know how the evolution of our friendship involved, but I was invited back in 2003 to start working on Scratch and Burn, which Rudy was in, Flipside Kings, that was the first hip hop play that ever came out of Miami, Florida. I mean, and it was just all-star B-boys, B-girls. It was crazy. Just Miami Light Project being that spot for them was just, I knew that I had to keep working with them. And so one day Beth called me up, I think it was 2008 towards wintertime. And she was talking to me about, doing some DJ workshops at some local, other local nonprofits. I said, yo, that's cool. What do you think about a hip hop summer academy? It was something I've been thinking about for quite some time. And this is late 2007. She said, let's talk about it. And she got all the funding we needed to launch the first Path Hip Hop Summer Academy in 2008. And now we haven't stopped, and they've been a supporter every year since. So the crazy thing, I mean, just the collaborations that have came out of that space, from being part of the first hip hop play ever to producing youth hip hop plays every year with our youth, is on the same floor where the idea was created at the Lightbox. It's crazy how everything comes full circle. So, and I'm grateful, and I haven't had an opportunity to really work on solo work in years. And so when the Here and Now project came to be, for 2020, I feel like 2020 is the year that just never happened. We're going to be the Here and Now artists that never really happened. And so many other things never really happened this year, but it's okay. Because just having the opportunity to be able to express myself and create work has been a huge blessing. So I give thanks. Oh, by the way, Evans. You're talking about Pat staff, Evans, Christina, stand up. You already know, man. Evans, run around the stage 3 times. Is that
doing it. He's actually doing it. And I'm just gonna make one correction, because I don't want people, across the nation to trip. It was the first hip hop theater piece in Miami, because I wrote and directed it. But I don't want people to say, oh, y'all think y'all had the first hip hop. No, it was the first one in Miami. And actually, I didn't realize that until you pointed it out to me. You were like, that was just the first hip hop theater piece in Miami. And I was like, you know what? You're right. But yeah. But thanks for that. And that also went on to tour. Actually, we started touring that piece outside of the U.S. before we even began touring in the U.S. Our first tour days was 3 cities, Rudy, in South America.
Yeah, we went to
4 cities, 2 countries.
Yeah, we went to Manta, Guayaquil, Siquires, and Lima, and then right after that we went to China. Yeah, it's funny. Brim brings up Scratch and Burn, because that's actually how I met Miami Light Project. I just came back from Japan, and I called one of my best friends, Exino, and he was going to an audition for Scratch and Burn, and he brought me along, and Rebecca Lango, who was working at Miami Light Project at the time, she talked me into auditioning. Forced me to audition, and I got a call back like 2 days later. They said, we'd like to offer you a spot in this theater company, and which we thought it was a gig, but it's how I met Teo, who was my mentor, one of my best friends, a father figure to me. It's where I met Rosie. It's where I met Lewis. It's where I met Terrell. It's where I met Beth. It's where I met, because of Scratch and Burn, Octavio Campos saw it and wanted me to work with him. It's where I met Rennie Harris. It's Miami Light Project is literally the seed of so many paths in my life. And so again, but that comes from Beth saying to Speedy Legs, who was the person who she commissioned to create this piece, that wasn't Scratch and Burn, that was something else that he had written, but she was like, yes, I'm going to support this and brought Teo in to direct it. But then that's when Teo wrote Scratch and Burn and everything, and things changed. But again, it goes back to this like initial support, this first seed of support and or financial support and or space, you know? And yeah.
I'm so happy that you brought up Rebecca. I mean, BFF. She's my BFF. I love her. But also, when I remember the Here and Now applications, like you had to submit your like artist bio and like your resume, and I was like, and an artist statement. I was like, I haven't made anything yet. Like, how do I make an artist statement? And then she was like, oh, I'll share some press packets that we receive from other companies, and you can base it on that. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I got a commission, and I was like, oh my God, I'm touring. Rebecca, what's normal to like pay someone for per diem when you travel? And she's like, oh, look, check this website out, and they give you like a basis. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, I have this. And she's like, you should apply for this. So there's so many different ways that initial like push, that question of like making an artist statement or writing a grant, which, you know, is like, it's like a new experience for someone. I don't know what it's like now in school, but I know I wasn't prepared for that when I graduated from college. So that was helpful, but you also get all that administrative help, support, encouragement, which it's rare, and that really is so Miami, you know? Like I when somebody gets a grant in Miami and somebody gets like the Knight Foundation this or Miami Light Project, everybody's like hype about it. It's like, oh my God, did you hear? Maya got the Here and Now. She's gonna be amazing. There's not that kind of like competitive spirit that you get in other cities, which at least that's been my experience, or the feedback that I've gotten about a lot of people, like that people are vying or fighting for something. And I don't feel that here. And I really do think it has a lot to do with Miami Light Project. And the idea that there is no hierarchy of what are the works that deserve to be supported and what are the works that don't deserve to be supported. It's if you have a good idea and if you have talent, you get to be heard. And I think that fosters a certain energy in a community that you feel like, well, I'm not in competition with you because we are so different. And I'm not in competition with you because we are so different. Because we're encouraged to speak our own voice. Versus becoming a part of the zeitgeist and just like reinventing the wheel over and over again, which happens a lot, especially in modern dance. But I'm gonna stop talking, so because you only got one question, and I'm sorry.
No, that's still what you said, Rosie. I appreciate that because it speaks to mentorship. I think what happens in our community is that as the experienced artists or older artists, we also pass that down fearlessly to and with passion to the younger artists coming up, or you know, early career artists, because it is so important, because we get so much out of it just and by passing down information and being of service and helping others. That's really key. And you know, I don't. You're absolutely right. I think there is this stigma that artists are constantly, you know, vying against each other or competing against each other, or, you know, or that we are all like, you know, hungry and whatever. And I think that we really in this community dispel that myth with how we treat each other and how we take care of each other and how we mentor each other. And I think that's really important. So thank you for that. You actually, I think we've already talked. The second question was, what has access to the Lightbox meant for you in your ability to develop new work? Have we answered that question? I don't know. We kind of. But if you want to answer that, please answer that.
I think we touched on it.
We did.
We did. However, I can say that, you know, the word community, like, obviously comes up a lot, right? When talking to artists, when talking to theater, we're talking about theater, talking about creating, or talking about spaces. And, you know, and I've been having a lot of conversations lately at school about community and about what that word means, right? And how it can mean so many things. There was a time where I had an epiphany that my idea of community was absolutely different from that of this big organization who has it in their mission statement, right? The word community or inclusivity is a beautiful word to have in your mission statement, but what does that actually mean? What does your community look like, right? Who are the participants in this community, and who is allowed into your space, right? Or who is welcomed into your space a certain way. And I always find myself bringing up Miami Light Project when I'm in these conversations, because Miami Light Project is the only space that I've encountered where I see writers, dancers, performance artists, actors, playwrights, directors, black, brown, older, younger, youth, b-boy competition. It's like a space where so much is welcomed, right? And I don't know too many spaces like that. I know a lot of spaces that push that put that into their writings when they're asking for grants, right? And when they're reaching out for money. But I don't know too many spaces that I can be driving around and I go, oh, I'm gonna stop by Miami Light Project, right? Like there's been so many times in my life living in Miami where I'm just like down the street from Miami Light Project, and I stop by and I know I'm gonna run into artists. I know I can have a coffee there. I know I can sit and work there. I know I can fax something. I know I can go there and kill time for about an hour before I go to my next meeting. And not feel weird, not feel like I'm taking up space, and I don't know too many spaces where the doors open in that way, right? And so yeah, I want to just lift them up for that, right? Because it truly does feel like my art home, yeah. And having accessibility to that, not only, obviously, yes, we've mentioned, we have access to space, we have access to rehearsal space, right? But having access to a place where you truly feel like you're part of a community, just makes being a human and an artist so much lighter and fluffier and exciting, So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I feel the same way. You can stop by anytime and see who's there, see what's up, and just check in with folks. But what I want to ask you, Rudy, is you faxing?
Yeah. Let me tell you this.
If you are, I'm gonna beat you later. All right.
Let me tell you. I have that conversation with all government, state, programs every day of my life. I'm on the phone with FPL, the IRS, and they're like, "Can you fax it?" I was like, "Fax? You want me to fax?"
So I'm gonna. Actually, I want to pose this question directly to Maya and Chadwick. So, how does hearing about this community of the Lightbox and Miami Light Project, how do you feel to being a new member, so to speak, of this community?
Want to go first? All right. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like whenever you come into Miami Light Project for the first time and come to a performance, there's something really remarkable about the space. And, if you're a person who really notices it, you notice it really hard, right? So the first time being here, I was like, I have to do something there. I have to be in that space. So this being my first time working at Miami Light Project was already, emotional and kind of a big deal for me. But then in particular, with it being a pandemic at the same time, when we came back and had this space, you know, that sacredness doubled in size and value for me. Being able to come into this theater alone and work in this time, it's like, you know, I'll probably never experience something quite like that ever again in my life. So that was a really big deal. And also to recognize that we, as the Here Now artists of 2020, were one of this like small percentage of artists around the entire world who actually had a space to work in, which is just incredibly invaluable. So I feel like my experience as a 2020 Here Now artist is wrapped up in all these like strange things that had. That's me.
Nice. Go. Big up to that.
Ooh, wow. So for me, it was a pretty interesting experience because when I started dancing, I started like through hip hop and breaking. So making the transition to like going into like the contemporary world, I didn't really know much about what was happening in Miami. So when I started getting into the know of things and like, especially like after graduating, just to come back to like where I started and just having the opportunity to just create work in a space that kind of pretty much represents the community of Miami within the, not even just like the contemporary dancing, just like the art scene in general, was really like a beautiful experience. It kind of like felt like a rites of passage almost, just like walking into this. So it was just like a beautiful experience just to see like how my journey, like I started here, then went off, then came back, then now I'm starting to really connect with the community here more. And it just kind of provided like a safe space to really harbor my ideas and just the support and just meeting a whole lot of people. Because I really didn't know much about anything in terms of like how art really worked here, because my lens was just like focused on more of like the b-boy scene. So it just feels really good to start being connected with everybody and just learning like just who's in the scene pretty much.
That's great.
And I know that I speak for everybody when I say that if y'all ever need anything, if you want someone to come in and look at your work, if you need to know, you know, how much you should charge for a tour date or whatever, I'm sure that any of us, all of us, would feel really honored to help you in any way that we can, because that's ultimately what this community is all about. Here's our final question for this panel. How do you see your role in making the world a more connected place through your creative work? And I'm gonna do this one popcorn style. Just chime in whenever you feel.
I can chime in on that.
Yes.
So I was thinking a lot about creativity and connection in general, and how some people define creativity as taking two seemingly different things and putting them together, finding a connection between them. So that's essentially like what art is and how we've like built societies, and like everything that we do is innately creative. But as an artist, you know, you take it to a little bit more of an extreme place of taking things that you wouldn't normally put together and putting them together. And the reason why I think it's so important to highlight that's ingrained in the artistic process of every artist to ever exist, is because that blending of ideas and the blending of people that you bring in as a choreographer, performer, or you know, as a playwright, the people that you bring together, you're creating a blend. And in that blending is where the healing happens. So I think that's, yeah, the blending is healing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to chime in.
Yes,
yeah, for me, I think that creative world is where I feel the most comfortable. And you know, wherever the source may be that I see that kind of creativity, or hear or listen or watch, you know, it doesn't have to be a contemporary time, it could be from the past, but the fact that, you know, that art's been made forever and ever, and that is the source of inspiration, I feel, for humans to just keep on trucking and keep on living, you know? You listen to a song and all of a sudden your mood changes and you're in a different space. And so to be able to contribute to that is immense for me. And also, you know, it's nourishment for all artists to be able to just take that in and be inspired and continue that legacy and move it forward into contemporary times. And so it's just something that you know, this is a great question because it made me just think of, you know, I need it. It's like my medicine. I need it all the time. I just need it. And if you think of a platform like Instagram as contemporary as it may be, it's a big source, you know, it's a big source of inspiration and creativity. So no matter, throughout the times, I just feel art has been my safe place for fact. So.
That's beautiful. Absolutely.
Thanks, Dylan.
I don't know. I think I can chime in. I think about this question a lot. I think it's because of writing grants. I really think that Maya's response really speaks to kind of the core of why I make work. You know, of processing. I don't know. Whatever, if it's divine inspiration or subconscious or trauma or life, truly it comes from that place of healing. And I do think art making is a healing protocol for many people. So that might be like how I got here. But I'm here now. Get it? So I think about what my role is now, and I think that I'm very, very lucky to have the responsibility to speak for many voices that are not often heard on stage. And I think that's something that in Miami here we take for granted because we all look different and are from different places, and we're all immigrants or first generation or close by, you know, that we take that for granted. But when you start to tour and you start to get that question of like, how'd you create such a diverse cast? And I'm like, I'm from Miami. Like, what do you mean, how did I create a diverse cast? Like, you can't not create a diverse cast here, you know? So once I started to tour, I started to realize how important it was to tell those stories on stage. Not just because they're not being told on stage, but because it gives the opportunity for people to see their story be told on stage, and that can be cathartic and healing for them. So the healing that brought me to creating the work can also be the process that brings that to people who are watching the work. And on top of that, I really love, I think I read this once in a book about Jose Limon, saying that his work was about invoking empathy for the other. And this really being based on the fact that Jose Limon was like a Mexican-American artist creating work at a time where he was the only person of color in the companies that he was dancing for, like, at all. So his work, if you really see it through the lens of empathy for the other, you can see that he's really flushing out those ideas, whether that's like the ostracizing people or the community coming together in all different types of work. And I think that not just seeing yourself on stage is important, but also provoking the conversations that are going to lead towards an empathetic body, empathetic mind, empathetic spirit is monumentally important, especially right now. The end.
Nice.
Remember Sasha used to say that? I love the end.
Nothing else to say.
4-year-old B-girl in my company. That's how she used to end conversations. The end.
I picture me with you. It's written all around the frame. There ain't no hidden truth. You and me, we spark the flame.
a creature. Dirty wine and a dance from the speaker. Cause I think don't know man to sing that. Heartbreaker, she's a heart stealer. We back out like a she named Sheila. You done up, say the king man keep her. Up I like a Wynwood feature. One love to my two-star sister.
Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave me hiding from her. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave me hiding from her. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave me hiding from her. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave me hiding from the truth.
See it clear as day. Just be go together like art to a beat. Enter a room, people rise to their feet. Them can't believe when me eyes don't see it. How can I win like you come to beat ya? Can't possess ya, born to be